VINCENZO'S Gold Crypto Investing, this April the 4th, 2025, noon update under a gorgeous, glowing, beautiful blue skies with just some high cirrus clouds moving in from the south and southwest as we've been approaching Rainmaker J from just north of downtown Detroit inside the mobile compound with a current official temperature of a chilly 43 degrees. Bell notification, comment down below as we're building a movement, a community that is changing and altering the social media and mainstream insiders and influencers in the cryptocurrency and blockchain technology sphere, bringing trust, truth, and education and information, most importantly, so that you, the audience member and the listener, the biggest part of this channel, can be well informed with the information and knowledge, unbiased, to make an educated decision for themselves and not having their emotions played on or having someone trying to sell you something based on your fear. Because when you have fear, you make irrational decisions, but we don't want you to do that. We want you to be cool, calm, and collected because you have the knowledge and you have the education and information needed to be cool and calm and make precise, sound decisions for yourself. Most pessimism since financial crisis bear was ending. Let's see what we got going on here. Meanwhile, more than half of the investors surveyed said they are currently not holding gold or other precious metals in their portfolio. Reported that bearish sentiment or expectations that stocks will fall over the next 6 months, gaining 9.8% to 61.9. Bearish sentiment is unusually high and is above historical average of 31% for the 18th time in 20 weeks. This is the third highest bearish sentiment reading in the history of the survey and was last higher March 5th, 2009 at 70.3%. And that was during the height of the financial crisis. The S&P 500 crisis low occurred on March 6, 2009. 07-09 bear market, 57% ended on March 9th, 2009 on the closing basis. Additionally, of note, this is also the 6th week in a row bearish sentiment has been above 50%. The longest streak in the survey's history of survey with consecutive bearish sentiment prints above 50% was 7 weeks run around the time the SPX ended its Gulf War, declined 19.9% on the closing basis. October 1990, bullish sentiment or expectations that stocks prices will rise over the next 6 months fell 5.7% to 21.8. Bullish sentiment is unusually low. With these changes, the bull-bear spread slipped 15.4% to negative 40.2 from negative 24.4, which is very interesting. Which is very interesting as something we would expect as the tariffs initially were going to hammer the stock market, and people that didn't understand that tariffs are a tax on the people that buy the products that the tariffs are placed on, which unfortunately for Americans, and this is the cold hard truth and part of the trust and the relationship that we build here, is it's not always things you want to hear, is we're the ones that have to buy all these imported products for the most part, and we're going to pay the tax. And around the world, that's affecting profits, which affects stock price, which people get scared. And when people get scared and products become more expensive to produce and ship because of tariffs, the prices go down, right? Initially, they'll go down fast, but eventually the federal government will start to lower interest rates. Once you get to about 25% to 30% down in the S&P and the Dow or the NASDAQ, and when you get about 25 to 30% in the Dow, you'll start to see them lower interest rates. You'll see them throw out the inflation carrying out the window, and you'll see them lower rates drastically, quickly, and you'll see them fire up the old metaphorical printing presses, right? If you look at the Bitcoin today, the crypto sphere has been quite, we do not want to buy you. Stop it. Just stop it. Stop it, right? If you look at the Bitcoin dominance, we've had Bitcoin dominance go down a little bit here. And that's something that today has been allowing in the hour time frame the altcoins to go erratic. Bitcoin's been down 2%, up 0.5%, and swinging violently in between. But people are starting to slosh money around today out of Bitcoin as the dominance over the last day is down. Let's see what it's down in the last day. And when they start sloshing money out of Bitcoin, you can see yesterday it peaked out here. So it's been down about 0.69% over the last day, I believe. Yeah. And that's been enough to slosh some money around. So you're seeing erratic things happen where coins are pumping 3 to 6% profit on the day, then giving it back, and then other coins rotating the same thing. People are sloshing money around. So this will be interesting to see if Bitcoin dominance tries to print a red candle today, or if it ends up flipping this around by the close and continues its uptrend that it's been in. But if we get some kind of a brief move to the downside like this, we could have a pretty decent, or not pretty decent, but just more widespread pumps in the altcoins as money is being sloshed around. But the Bitcoin price here, you can see the overall trend continues, where we have the bearish cross is about to take place here in a few days, where you have the 100-day moving average at 200-day, moving average now running horizontal. And by next week, you're going to see it start to trend down for the first time. And you have the 50-day moving average in red fastly approaching it right there. And then the 100-day is just above that. And that's going to act as major overhead resistance, right? And I believe you're headed to your next major underneath target, which is down here at $73,811. So we'll continue to watch that. The XLM price, you can see we're on major support on that 25.5 cents, an area that we bounced a couple of times, but we've had the bearish cross a few weeks ago that we were talking about. You can see it happened officially back there in early March, so about a month ago. And this one, the 200-day moving average, is trending down very slowly. You can see it started at 0.2883, and now it's at 0.28836. So it's descending, but you have an accelerating to the downside 50-day moving average, and that's going to eventually catch up to the price. And the price is just trading sideways until it does. And that's going to drive, I believe, the price down in the shorter term on the next couple of weeks, all the way down here to that 18 cents. And I believe that's your next major move. You could have a little bounce before you do that, back up into this falling moving averages before you do get driven down. But I believe you're coming down to that 18.5 cents in the short term. And that's where we're going to keep this video today, just the short term. The XRP, you can see it's had a violent wick from up to down today with that candle that's now sitting almost about even on the day. I believe the bearish cross that's about to happen, you can see it here now, where we're very, very close. I think by either Sunday or Monday, it's going to confirm itself and actually happen. We're going to have a 200-day moving average that, like the Bitcoin, is going to start to level out and then trade to the downside, right? And I believe XRP, and it did actually almost hit the 200-day moving average. I didn't even see the other night. We wicked down to $1.95. Then we had a little sympathetic bounce. So that's sort of what that sympathetic bounce that I was talking about when we finally come and hit the 200-day moving average. And it's doing that, but this overhead sell pressure is going to catch up to you as the 50-day and the 100-day on that bearish cross. As it gets closer and closer to the price, it's going to eventually be too much for it. And I believe that's when we're going to fulfill this technical target with these moving averages in the daily, and we're coming down to $1.29. That's going to happen. These tariffs are going to exacerbate it and make it actually happen quicker. But right now we have that little bit of a sympathetic pump off of the $1.95 regional low. We're sitting just above the neckline now, but I think the neckline is going to start becoming the major resistance here in the next 1 to 3 days. As it goes below it, tries to get back above it, goes below it before it has that hook nose classic reversal and starts to really get driven down as the overhead 50-day moving average in the daily catches up to it. So that's what I think is going on there. AMP is trying to get that pump that we've been talking about. I think irregardless of the overall bearish sentiment and with the tariffs, there could be just a sporadic, like you do and see in these coins, pump. And I still believe this will happen. It's just, where does it happen from? I still believe it's going to happen. I still do not want to buy you. That hasn't changed, just as our belief that we're going to have some kind of a pump. But the lower it gets, the bigger the pump's going to be to get up to sort of where it needs to get. If it happened from there and that was the low, you can see to get up to its technical target would be 178% move, about what we have drawn there in yellow. Not to say it's going to hold it, but it's going to be another one of these where you had this and then the big downside correction, right? Then you had big pump, downside correction, big pump, downside correction, right? This is going to be the third leg of it, the smallest one and the overall bigger consolidation that we're forming here, right? Before it eventually tries to break up later on this year or early next year to the $2 range, or it's going to have a full lateral breakdown, right? But I still believe we're going to have a pump here, and I'm still waiting on that and still expecting it. Like, subscribe, become members of Jabroni Killers to help change the narrative in crypto to truth, trust, and education and information. The Jabroni Killers, the cheapest, $3.99 a month to help support a channel out there. And it's as easy as going to my crypto page, clicking on a video like you are now, going either to my homepage. If you're on there, you'll see some lady in the background talk that we're going to stop. Hit that join button, $3.99 a month or $4.99 a month, depending on which one you want to use to support the channel for the cheapest and easiest and best value out
spending
there
8 hours
to bring back, don't care what you have to say, to bring back truth, education, and information and trust to the audience, trust to the community, truth to the sphere. You can be part of that. It's in the video description and or the pinned comment below. Peace and love. The Rex Eyebrow J.